One of my favourite bands of all time is the Dead Kennedys. I love punk. I love punk rock. I like all kinds of punk rock. I like classic punk, hardcore punk, pop punk, ska punk, even like a little bit of power violence every now and then. I'm not one of those elitist punk fans who thinks you have to know every single upcoming DC hardcore band or you're a poser. I just like punk. And one of my favourite bands are the Dead Kennedys. One of the things I really like about the Dead Kennedys, aside from their music, is their logo. I have a slightly more than passing interest in graphic design and art, and I really, really like their logo. I think it looks badass. So I really, really wanted a Dead Kennedys t-shirt. But upon looking online, I couldn't immediately find the shirt I wanted. I wanted just a white t-shirt with the Dead Kennedys logo on the front. The closest I found was a black t-shirt with the Dead Kennedys logo on the front and a bunch of tour dates on the back. Tour dates I had not attended, so it felt slightly inauthentic. As such, I, being the resourceful so-and-so I am, decided to make my own Dead Kennedys t-shirt. So I got some fabric pens and I began my first attempt. Started drawing out the design, everything was going well, until I drew a line in a particular place in a particular part of the logo and realised I'd kind of ruined it. I literally stood over it for about 5 minutes trying to think of ways that I could save it, but I eventually concluded that it was not salvageable. However, being the resourceful so-and-so I am, as I mentioned previously, I decided I would just adapt the mistake and turn it into this cool, stylized trident symbol. It's not the Dead Kennedys logo, but it looks kind of cool, and for a few days I even bounced around the idea in my head that it would look good as a tattoo. But eventually I thought I should probably do a little bit of research into this symbol, just to make sure it's not, you know, a Nazi symbol. Spoiler alert, it's a fucking Nazi symbol. I found out that that symbol is in fact a rune. It is called Algiz or Elhaz and was used in the Anglo-Saxon and Norse runic alphabets. At various points in time and in various languages it represented a Z or S noise. In certain contexts it represented an X noise and in others an R. How benign. Much later on, i.e. in the 20th century, this rune came to be understood in the Germanic mysticism of the early 20th century as symbolizing life, and called the life rune. This term occurs as early as the 1920s in the literature of Germanic mysticism, and it came to be widely used within the Nazi Party and Nazi Germany. After 1945, the life rune continued to be used by various neo-Nazi or white nationalist groups, including the US National Alliance. In June 2016, it was reported by the Southern Poverty Law Centre, and by the way, it's never a good thing when the SPLC have to get involved, that Thomas Mayer, later to be convicted of murdering the British Labour Party politician Joe Cox, was connected to the National Alliance. There is also a tree trunk with the life rune carved on it in the largely neo-Nazi village of Jamel in Germany. I wore this to work! Nazis ruin everything.